Hey guys, as we go into a new year, I thought that I would start it with a story that's very important to me. Um, Actually, one of my favorite Greek stories, and I just feel like it's timely right now because we are going into this new year. And whether we acknowledge it or not, we are all kind of in this zone where we're noticing where we have been going, who's been around us, what we've been believing in. And as we walk into this new year, we have this mindset that's already trying to pick up on and hone in on just versions of newness, new ways to express ourselves, new relationships, or changes to relationships. And we're just kind of being propelled into this new year. And I think that that's something that's pretty cool about a calendar date where culturally and subconsciously it is going to trigger your mind to start looking for these things and to these things. And so, with that mindset, with that um, context, I thought that it'd be really cool to share the story of Chiron with you guys, who is just one of the best. Just one of the best. Um, he deals with that archetypal pattern of being a wounded healer. And his story shows how that is, what that is, and what to do with that, or what he does with that. Real quick synopsis though is it's that aspect of ourselves that fate, which is to say that usually circumstances we didn't consciously choose, so fate happened, and how that wounds a very intimate part of us. All of us, regardless if we say it out loud or whatever, have been injured in a very intimate space, um, and usually that is the space that we are able to pick up in other people. That is the space that we are able to notice in other people. And we have a strong compulsion to help that area um, in those people because we ourselves have experienced it. So that's kind of the wounded archetype, wounded healer archetype as like a whole, or like as a quick little bleh. Um, Loving people in the space where you're the most hurt. Okay, so the Greeks, being the Greeks, were just phenomenal with their ability to personify these different aspects of life and tell them in a story that makes sense and at the end of the day teaches a lesson. And I guess that's what mythology is at the end of the day is just a story which teaches people a lesson. Um, so let's get into it, shall we? Folgers. Um, so Chiron is a centaur. Right off the bat, we should get some of these things out of the way. He was conceived when Zeus, being Zeus, saw a lovely maiden and he wanted that. So he went down to Earth. He came from Olympus, and he found this mortal woman who was trying to run away and turned herself into a horse, thinking, well, he wouldn't want to do that to a horse. Honey, you never met Zeus. Zeus does that to a lot of different things. So Zeus does end up mating with her as she's in this horse form, and when she gives birth to a centaur, half man, half horse. Um, and being that Chiron is both of human and god uh, lineage, he is born immortal. So what sets Chiron apart from other centaurs, I feel like we should probably get that out there too. Centaurs traditionally in the Greek stories are very ruthless, very animalistic, very quick, good archers and such, but they don't have the higher capacities as humans as far as like trade and intellect and da 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 da. They're lower on the social food chain, if you will. So Chiron, though, because he is of divine conception, he has the mind, one of the most brilliant minds in the Greek pantheon. Like, he devotes his life, being immortal, to study the arts. And what's cool and beautiful about the Greeks is that art isn't just poetry and pottery and painting, although that is in there. It's also the art of war, the art of divination, the art of herbalism, of magic, of music, anything that you create or anything that takes strategy or thought or passion is considered an art in this story. So Chiron spends his immortality learning these different tricks and trades, and that leads him to being the mentor of a lot of Greek heroes like Achilles, Ajax, um, Hercules, which is, we're going to focus on Hercules. Shit gets crazy with Hercules. So you got this beautiful mentor of a man, super gifted, super intelligent, super caring, just kind of sitting on his pedestal because he was born a weird way and he's got a weird body, but he made it. By God, he made it. So, um, so there's one day where Hercules comes back to meet Chiron, kind of talk his mentor. Hercules had just slain the Hydra, which is the one thing where, like, if you cut off its head, two more grow back, and you cut out that one, now there's five. Da 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 da. So crazy battle, big deal in Hercules' story. Like, he's feeling pretty good, and not only that, but he brought back one of the heads with him to be like, check it out. And Chiron is like, you know what's awesome about what you just did? Hydra blood is so poisonous that if you get one drop of it inside of you, you're dead. Instant death. No second thought, no chance to heal yourself, just done. So what we should do, Hercules, is we should take some of these arrows and dip it in this blood, and that way now you have an arsenal of arrows that will defeat any enemy you come against. And Hercules is like, oh, that's a good one. Well, so that's why you're my mentor, you know? So as this is going on, and they're chatting it up, homieing it up, they are attacked by a herd of centaurs. There is an argument to be made that this is a person being attacked by their more animalistic self, or having a more animalistic version of what they believe themselves to be to come and get them. Take that metaphor if you want it. Otherwise, we can just say some centaurs came over this hill and was attacking them. So Hercules and Chiron get in this giant battle with these centaurs, okay? Fighting, but it's Chiron and it's Hercules, so they're doing pretty good. So there comes this moment though where Hercules reaches and grabs for his arrows that Chiron had just made and starts shooting them at these centaurs and accidentally hits Chiron in his leg. Now, that is one of the spots that can trigger Chiron's mortality, taking him away from immortal. And he gets hit there with this arrow that will instantly kill anybody. So Chiron starts to fall into death, but he is born of divinity and therefore cannot die. So Chiron immediately gets plunged into this, I am so hurt and I am on the verge of death every moment of every day, yet my spirit and who I am cannot die. And so he becomes in this perplexing space where his willpower and his essence says, no, sorry, dude, you can't die. You're not meant to die. But his heart and his humanness and his mortality is saying, I just want to go, but why won't you let me go? Okay? I don't know if you guys have been in those situations where you want to give up or it hurts so much, but something just says, sorry, man, we're keeping going. So that is where Chiron ends himself up for now. He decides, well, although I've done so much for all these other people, I really need to start healing myself. I got to go on this quest and find these herbs or this person or this spell or this something to heal this part of me, because I can't live like this. So he goes around and he's trying to find all these different gurus and different teachers and different sages, and he's learning some stuff. And while he's doing it, he's also teaching. He never stops that. When he recognizes things, he points it out. He directs people. That's just kind of his MO. But in his heart of hearts, he's still looking for someone or something to rid him of this ailment. And so time goes by and to no avail. And he's walking, I think he's in Tartarus. Yeah. He goes down into Hades to be like, yo, like, take this from me. I don't even care anymore. I want to die. Just let me die. I'll give up my own mortality if you just let me die. Hades has no go of that. He's like, sorry, dude. You're immortal. I don't want to mess up with Zeus. You're a kid. I ain't playing with that. So Chiron is distraught, and he kind of just is walking through Hades or Tartarus at this point, and he comes upon Prometheus. Okay, real quick version. Prometheus brought fire to the humans to make them have some sort of standing in this world, uh, and therefore took some of the gods' power away from them. He also decided that if a human is going to make sacrifice to the gods, that they only need to give the bones and the fat to the god, and they can eat the meat. Um, that pissed Zeus off very much. Not only did you give them fire, but now you're giving them the best part of our sacrifice. Blah 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 blah. Long story short, Prometheus is tied to a rock now, and every day a griffin or an eagle, but I like griffin. A griffin comes down and picks his flesh and eats his liver every day. And right as the sun falls, he is magically restored, and the next day the griffin comes again, and it's just this never-ending cycle over and over and over again. And at this point, it's been going on for like thousands of years. So Chiron comes up to him, and he sees what's going on, and he says, "You know what, man? I know that feeling." He's like, that's exactly how I feel every day, just waiting for death to take me over. And it just never does. It just never does. But he looks at him and he says, the difference between you and I, though, is you can live a life. I accept that this is part of my burden. This is an ailment that is never going to go away. But you go fly, kind of deal. And so he's like, well, why don't we trade places? Chiron says to Prometheus. He's like, why, if this is who I am, and this is what happened to me, and this is what my story is meant to be, then I will take your place. I will accept my story, and I will take your place. He uses his wound, the acceptance of his wound, to heal and free another person. Because at this point, Chiron's not looking to heal himself anymore. He's not looking for absolution or release from this thing that happened to him. He's accepting it and utilizing it rather than trying to remedy it. So he and Prometheus switch spots. Prometheus runs away. I actually really don't, off the top of my head, know what happens to him. Let's assume good. And Chiron sits there. Okay. Zeus, who really started all of this, but Zeus sees this act, and Zeus is not a very generous man. He's not a very kind man. Very powerful though. And he sees this act, and Zeus himself is moved by this. Like the god of the gods is moved by this humbling exchange that these two have. So Zeus says, you know what, Chiron, I'll let you die. I'll take away your immortality. I will let you succumb to this pain. So he does. He says then, but I will not let you die. And so he takes Chiron, and he after he passes away, he takes him and he throws him into the sky, and that's where we get the constellation Sagittarius from. Always up there. I love that so much. So the point I'm trying to make, I guess, is in this new year, in this 2018, don't feel the need to fix everything before you can do something new. Don't feel the need to try and remedy or run or heal. Healing comes a lot quicker when you accept that it's there, when you accept the pain is there. Don't run from it, don't hide from it, don't travel the world looking for someone to give you the piece of information you need to just heal it. Because you are touched by fate in a way that is purposeful and helps your destiny. You can move from fate to your destiny when you acknowledge that it happened for a purpose. And when you acknowledge that it happens for a purpose, then what you do becomes purposeful, full of purpose. to move forward, to help, to heal. I heard a quote the other day that says, if your destiny is not for the whole, then you don't understand your destiny. And so often we get in our own little mindsets of trying to remedy and fix the fate of what happened to us. And Chiron shows us that that fate is also a purpose. It's also there for a reason. Getting a little bit of a long video, so I'm going to cut it out. But I just wanted to say Happy New Year to you guys. If you took time to listen to this, that's awesome. Super appreciative. I'm going to try and be doing more of these because I really, really like it. And yeah. Here's 2018, guys. Love ya. Thank you. Bye.